Welcome. How you doing?
Hey, Brett, what's going on?
I'm doing wonderful. Yourself?
I'm good. Hey, can I share something with you?
Absolutely.
The other night in my group, one of my participants came and shared a quick incident that he had had.
Okay.
He had gotten into an altercation and, he was feeling bad afterwards.
Yeah.
And so he came and he told me, he says, or told the group, I forgot about bossing my brain, I forgot about belly breathing, and here we're getting ready to go into 5-second light switch.
Okay.
And he was like, wow, man, I really felt bad afterwards. I was like, okay, well, don't beat yourself up.
Right.
Ask your group members, how did they feel about what you did? And so as they were sharing, he says, hey, you know what? I really could have used bossing my brain better. But, coming into this group and finding out about 5-second light switch, I could have took 5 seconds to think about something different.
Right.
And to do something different.
Did the guy describe to you how he put himself in that situation?
Well, he was, upset that him and this other guy weren't seeing eye to eye. And so he walked up to the guy and told him, hey, look, it has to be this way. And the guy told him, says, well, you know what, make me do it that way.
Yeah.
And it got a little physical from there.
So his expectations were a little different than the other man.
Yeah, correct.
How'd the group inform him?
The participants shared that, they have been in that same type of situations before, and, that they really basically wanted to see how we would respond as using GOGI tools in those situations. So one of the participants jumped up and says, hey, man, why don't you be the boss of your brain?
Yeah.
Use the smart thinking instead of your emotional, because that's what happened from the beginning. You got emotional, and you went automatically and use your old habit parts and just grab this guy.
How did he respond to that?
If he was like, yeah, I could have did that. I should have did that because I have those tools.
Okay.
I wasn't thinking right then.
Were you watching his body language? Was he belly breathing? Was he getting oxygen? Was he very receptive?
Actually, he was very receptive, and that's what I really liked about it,
Yes.
These groups, these guys come into these groups, and they sit out, and they experience something.
Yes.
They get something. They get the tools, and they take these tools, and they apply them in their everyday life. That is what I like about GOGI so much.
And then you had the opportunity to teach him about tools of the body, how to use those tools in these circumstances he comes across. Because we can come across them at any time of the day.
The group members, they all came and said, hey, look, when I get into a situation like that, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to first breathe.
Yeah.
I'm going to get some oxygen inside.
That's awesome.
Then I'm going to utilize my boss of my brain and says, hey, I don't have to make this negative choice.
Yes.
I can do something positive. I'm going to remember what I used to do within them 5 seconds.
Yes.
And then I can get to a positive action and grow from there.
I try to ask guys, what is it that is in their mind? Are they coming from an old nature of themselves? Are they coming from a negative position? Or are they going to enter it thinking smartly, thinking critically?
Correct.
And I try to focus on allowing them to learn that even though a negative thought can come up, you don't have to respond to it.
Correct.
Because we always are the creator of our situations. And if we put ourselves in a situation, we need to know how to manage ourselves in that situation.
Right. So we actually create our own thought processes.
Yes.
When we're thinking, we're able to determine which way we want to go. Because as GOGI teaches, it's all about the choices that we make, correct?
When the guys have faults, when they start to slip, remember we have reality check. As long as we continue moving forward, it's not that we fall down, it's how we pick ourselves up.
Right.
And it's how we can carry each other to the next step.
Right.
It's not about living in the past, it's about moving forward.
Reality check teaches us not to beat ourselves up.
Right.
We're going to make mistakes. We're all human.
Absolutely.
We all know that we're going to fall down, and the best thing that we've all been taught all our lives, that's why these GOGI tools are so simple, is to pick ourselves up, dust ourselves off, and keep on moving forward.
Absolutely. So after the guy shared that in the group, what did he walk away with?
Well, he walked away with a smile.
That's good.
He felt real good about himself. the group, you know, instead of saying, hey man, you let us down, because that's how he felt when he came in, he got really emotional and started, you know, crying, tears dropped. But after the group patted him on the back, hey, you're gonna make mistakes.
Absolutely.
They lifted him up, he picked himself up, and he continued to move forward. And he felt real good about himself, and he's really excited about GOGI.
I love that, because you know how I'm big on community.
Hey.
And we're all here together, but we're all here in this whole world. We're all here together.
Correct.
So picking each other up and moving forward is a great thing.
Right. All right, Brett, thank you a lot for that, man.
You're welcome.
Nice
man.
talking to you.
Anytime.
Hey, what's up, Rico?
How you doing, brother?
So, how does claim responsibility work for you?
Well, in my life, you know, I've been one that played the blame game a lot. I mean, the family I grew up in, a single-parent family, and I learned, you know, a lot of my self-esteem was based in, you know, what my mom told me I was and how I felt. And so it related, you know, to me looking for my mother in my relationships and with my girlfriends and marital choices. And so that's kind of where I got my self-esteem. With claim responsibility as a tool, I get my self-esteem, my self-empowerment from other sources, from my higher power, from making good choices, from service to others, just my nature as a human being, you know, and a healthy self-esteem. So I'm taking responsibility for today. I own today.
That's great.
Dealing with loss, you know, you lose somebody, you lose something. Our tendency is to blame other people, you know, so. And I see an example in you in taking ownership for your life and your recovery too.
Definitely.
How would you say you're claiming responsibility today?
One is, I no longer blame the past. I own today.
Right.
As myself, am I proud of this choice?
Yeah.
So a couple of things that I'm not proud of, that I'm claiming responsibility for today, is the way I treated people, the way I treated women as objects. I have an incident with my sister, and for many years she used to live with my mom.
Okay.
And she had her boyfriend living there, and he wasn't doing anything. And my mom had told my sister, well, he has to leave. And my sister was like, well, if he leaves, I'm leaving. So my mom was like, well, beat it, you know? So they left. They came back the next day to get their stuff.
Okay.
He comes in, he sits on the couch, and he puts his feet on the coffee table. And my mom was like, can you take your feet off the coffee table? I just cleaned it. So he ends up taking his feet down, and he spits on the coffee table. So my mom throws a can of starch at him. And he gets up and he socks my mom in the face, and he kicks her in the stomach.
Wow.
And I had told my sister before I got incarcerated, look, all I want you to do is to take care of mom. And when she did that, I wrote her a letter and said, look, I don't want nothing to do with you. Pretend you don't have a brother. I don't want to hear from you. Don't ask about me. Do anything.
Okay.
And that's one way that I responded towards relationships. So my mom was dying, and she tells me, look, I want you to make up with your sister. I let a little time pass after my mom passed away, and I eventually called my sister, and I said, look, I want to make amends, and I'm sorry. The way I treated you, the way I responded to what happened was wrong. And I said, would you be willing to come visit me? Because I had never seen her in prison or YA. She tells me I'm unable to travel because I have congenital heart disease,
Okay.
I have diabetes. On February 3rd this year was actually 25 years in prison for me, and it was actually the day she passed away. So holding on to this resentment and blaming her for what happened and not making amends and finding my responsibility.
It sounds like you're having a lot of resentment.
Oh, I did.
Yeah.
And just claim responsibility for today. And do I want to continue to treat people like that? Do I want to lose out on relationships?
Right.
You know, people deserve better. And I can do it by claiming responsibility today.
Yeah. It sounds like you were real close to your mom.
Yeah, and you know, now that she passed away, she still plays a big role in my life. They cremated her, and they're waiting for me to get out to spread her ashes over the ocean.
Yeah.
So for me, that's one of the things when it comes to 5-second night switch, is that's one of my goals, is to get out. You know, getting high today isn't as important as it once was.
Okay.
You know, so claim responsibility for today. Asking myself, am I proud of these choices?
Yeah.
That's what it's about to me.
Yeah, bro, I feel you on that issue because my mom's getting old. She's in her 80s too, and she told me recently that, you know, she might be not be with us for too much longer, you know. So I can relate to you on that because I've had to deal with my women issues and my mommy issues. The possibility of her being out of my life is bringing home all these things about getting my self-esteem from relationships and from my identity as a man was skewed. I thought what it meant to be a man was to be a womanizer, to have a lot of relationships, and that was all based in my fear, you know. So one way of owning responsibility for today, owning my feelings, owning my fears, is taking care of myself, learning how to take care of myself.
And I also deal with that as well, and that's one way I'm claiming responsibility, is to not allow my past to dictate my future. Because
Yes.
I feel abandoned,
Absolutely.
because if I experienced hurt, because I felt like my mother passed, that, oh, woman's going to leave me. It's not fair to treat women like objects. And it came at a valuable lesson. I hurt a lot of people in the process, and something I'm really sorry about.
Yeah, me too. So it doesn't take 50 years to learn who I am as a man and how I should treat women and other people that mean a lot to me. You know, I can learn that today. I can learn the tools, and something that I, just in the last year, it seems like a fast forward into my understanding and the insight.
And claiming responsibility is about today. It's not about the past. You may have done a lot of things. You may have experienced a lot of hurt and anger and frustration, but you don't have to allow that to dictate your future.
Yes.
Own today.
Yeah, I
Thank
can
you.
be proud of that choice. Gracias, Papa.
Thank you.
Hey, Randy.
Hey, Matt, how you doing?
What's going on?
Good to see you.
Hey, I just wanted to say thank you for all your service. I know you've been with us here since the beginning at CTF, facilitating GOGI.
Years ago, I didn't realize that I was a good boss of my brain or a bad boss of my brain. And I had a lot of negative thoughts going on in my mind, having poor grades when I was growing up. And so now I understand that I am the boss of my brain. And so when I wake up every morning, I understand that I can work my TWAs, and I just wake up with positive thoughts, which leads to positive words, which leads to positive actions, and I go about in this positive way all day long. I get this joyful spirit on my face, and I'm able to share the GOGI tools with other people. So these GOGI tools are really working for me. I have this internal emotional freedom that I've never had before. How about you? You have any success stories?
Oh,
Any
yeah.
GOGI success stories?
Numerous success stories almost seem to be a weekly thing here. As you know, after facilitating GOGI for 4 years now, we've had numerous participants and graduates of GOGI, and it almost seems like every day I notice some sort of transformation among not only myself, but the other guys who have gone through our group. Most recently, I was leaving work just 2 days ago, and a guy came up to me and he said, "Man, you know what? I just want to let you know that your group changed my life." And he just started to open up. And this guy, I really didn't know him other than from being a participant in my group a few cycles ago. We'd never had any conversation really other than that. And he just really opened up and started to tell me about how he used to be a really angry, violent person. And now, after going through our group, everything changed. Now, even dealing with all the negativity at the prison and guys gossiping and the rumors, he said he used to bite into that. And now, he's just a completely different person. And he thinks about the future more, and he started telling me about his family and what he has to look forward to when he gets out. It was just great seeing the transformation that happened with him. And that kind of stuff happens almost daily here. And that's all because of GOGI and guys going through groups like this, and it's fantastic. I mean, I experience those success stories all the time here. It's terrific.
Great. You know, I have a guy in my new GOGI group right now, and he's never taken a self-help class.
Oh,
and
really?
he's taking GOGI, his first self-help class.
Nice.
And he's learning all the tools. He tells me that he stops and he's able to think before he reacts now. He sits there and takes a little time out, his 5-second light switch. Then he learned to belly breathe. He said he can't believe how calm he is, and it keeps him from making poor decisions. So now he's able to use the boss of his brain and make positive decisions, and he's really liking it. And so I'll see him here tonight, in
Oh,
GOGI.
great. Oh, he's going through the cycle right now.
Yes.
Nice.
Yes.
So yeah, we should have group coming up here pretty quick. So I'll see you there.
Yes,
see you
I'll see you tonight.
All right. See you,
Matt.
GOGI.
Take care.
All right, buddy.
All right.
Hey, what's up, man?
Hey, what's up, Sean?
All right, how you doing, man?
All right, all right.
You all
Hey,
right?
sit down, man. Let me holler at you, man.
What's going on, Doc?
Everything good?
I'm good, man. What's up with you? What you got on your mind?
Man, how was your visit?
Man, I don't think that's the first time we done ate that much food since we've been out there.
All right.
Yes, yeah, man. I think I got sick, head started hurting. That's how much sweets I was eating, man. And you know my AC1 is acting up lately.
Yeah, you got that high sugar, man.
I've been cutting back, but every time I go out there, I see my daughter, see my grandson, man. I just gotta celebrate with them. You know, happy to be alive. Happy that she's willing to spend the time to come up and visit me, man.
Is that right?
Yeah.
You kind of young to be a grandpa, man. What's up?
Man, I'm 44, man. Just
What?
turned 44, man.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah, yeah.
How's your daughter?
She's doing good, man. She got 2 jobs now. I'm proud of her, man.
Have you shared the GOGI tools with her, or what? How's that?
Oh, man. The GOGI tools that I try to share with my daughter, man, she's somewhat a little reluctant. She's resistance. You know how them kids is. Don't want to hear nothing. But something interesting happened to me. When I was out there, I asked her, what has transpired in your life? You know, who do you admire now? Especially since Pawpaw's gone, since I'm in here. And she told me, you know what, it's still you and grandfather.
That's
I'm
good.
like, is that right? She was like, yeah, man. It brought a tear to my eye because I didn't expect her to say that. You know. And I was looking at my little grandson, and I told her, I said, well, I'm gonna try to share some of these tools that I've been learning based on being incarcerated, especially GOGI. GOGI has been the most impactful one that I've taken since I've been incarcerated. And I gotta try to reel him in so he won't make the same mistakes that I made in life.
So, what tool did you share with your daughter?
I shared all of them with her, actually. I said we can get complex with these tools, or we can make it as simple as possible. You have various parts of your brain that you can utilize, and what's so beneficial about the GOGI tools is that they make it simple. You have the smart part, you have the emotional part, and you have the auto habit part. I said whenever you find yourself in a confrontation, or whenever you find yourself getting angry with someone, just think of those 3 things: the smart part, the emotional part, or the auto habit part. And that'll tell you which direction or how your emotions are dictating whatever the events may be that you've been faced with.
That was good. You've been able to share that with her, man. I'm proud of you.
Yeah, man. So enough about me, man. What's up with you, man? My partner leaving again? What's this all about, man?
I'm be leaving to San Quentin next week, man. And people come into your life for a reason, and a season, and a time. You know, I've enjoyed our time, and my time now to move forward and share the tools with other people as well. For me, I'm looking at what if, you know what I mean? Like, just applying that tool, like what if everything that I needed to accomplish here was done for a reason and a purpose, and what if I go up there and meet some more positive people and I can be a positive influence in their life and be a mentor to them, and you know, what if I go up there, share the GOGI tools and obtain my freedom, not just ultimate freedom from within, but just physical freedom as well.
I can feel it, because I know when transferring, you get them butterflies and anxiety. So now you can apply that belly breathing tool to help you calm your nerves, because going anywhere, especially traveling, you get homesick, you're seeing cars passing by, you're seeing people passing by living life, man. So I wish you the best, man, when you get up there, man. Best.
Appreciate that. And I just want to motivate you to keep going and to use your GOGI tools as well, because you have a voice just as I have a voice, and everyone needs positive words and positive thoughts and positive actions. You know, like I said, I'm gonna definitely miss you, and as well as this GOGI group. But when those feelings of anxiety and things come up, man, I just been belly breathing and just utilizing positive thoughts, man, and just thinking that it was meant to be and it will get better if I continue to just be of service each and every day and just, have positive thoughts, because they're going to lead to positive words and positive actions. And the more you utilize your tools, one day at a time, they're going to build. And before you know it, it's going to be a new habit. It's going to be a way of life and a way of being. And it's going to help other people, and then it's going to attract positive people into your life. And when you're in a position of leadership, people are always looking to you, judging you.
Exactly.
And so we have to be very mindful of our thoughts and our words and actions, and just remember that that's what it's about, man. Ultimate freedom. Put the ego and the pride to the side and just think about what's important. Family, giving back, and contributing to humanity instead of taking from it like we did years ago.
Yes, most definitely. I'm a testament to that, man, because I took a lot of things for granted. I wasn't there for a lot of people in my life, and now I'm trying to give back. I'm trying to let them know that I can change, I can transform. And with these GOGI tools, it'll help me gain my confidence. It helped me be more poised. It helped me be more sure of myself. Each and one last one of these tools, man, is a positive benefit for our life, not just in prison, but when we get out of prison, man. So take that to heart with you, man. And I wish you well. God bless you, bro. Love you.
Love you too.
Hey, Steve, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good. How you doing, Sean?
I'm good. I'm just hanging in there, man. I wanted to ask you something, man. I heard that you had went to the board recently, man, and was concerned about you. How did that go, man?
I did go. It didn't start out too well for me. I got up there early, about 8:30. My attorney was kind of running in and out of the room, and I started getting real nervous about how I was going to do. Just real anxious, and it was like almost hyperventilating. It was
Is
just,
that right?
It was really crazy.
What you do then? How'd you get over that?
Well, I started thinking about my tools, what I had available to me, and started taking some deep breaths and doing some belly breathing, and really just kind of relaxed me and calmed me down. And through doing that, I was able to see that I had everything I needed to go to the hearing. Whether my attorney was there or not, I didn't really need that input. So I went into the hearing, and I think it went pretty well for me.
Now, let me ask you something. Prior to going into the hearing, what thoughts were going through your mind?
Oh, I was anxious. I was ready to slip back into my old behavior and just go in there and act like the convict and, not give them anything. I just wanted to, tell them the same old stuff I had told them in the past, which hadn't worked out for me.
Yeah. So what's changed from that time that you were acting like a convict when you went into those prior times to this time?
Well, when I was sitting in that chair and the hearing began, the commissioner started shooting questions at me. And rather than revert to that old behavior, that old pattern, old thought pattern of just acting tough and not answering their questions, I decided to become the boss of my brain and start thinking for myself and being truthful with them. The whole process went pretty well. I was real calm, real collected. I think I answered their questions properly. Okay, I got a 3-year denial, but I feel good about the outcome. I feel free after coming out of there. I did well, and the commissioner, he questioned me a lot about my GOGI tools. And at the end of the hearing, he took the letter I got from Coach Taylor and the information I had written out on GOGI, and he said he wanted to include it in the packet that was going to go to the full panel for review. So that made me feel pretty good.
Excellent, excellent.
Yeah.
What were the reasons for them denying you, though?
Well, the reasons for them denying me were that they felt I was just still a little bit short on my insight. I would have to agree with that. I have a little more work to do, and with the tools I have available to me, I think I'll be able to get that done before my next hearing.
Okay, and even up until that point, Were your thoughts still positive, or did you revert back to any type of animosity towards them for denying you again?
Absolutely not. I have nothing but positive thoughts about them. You know, they have an important job to do. They take it very seriously, and so I take it seriously. This was an opportunity for me to show them that I'm not the same person I was when I came to prison. I think I did a good job of that, and I'm positive about the outcome.
I think that's one of the most important things, is to be able to express, you know what I mean, how the tools have worked in your life. I know when I went, they asked me that also. He said, of all the groups that you've attended, which one has had the greatest impact on you, and why? So for me, it was GOGI, and the tool that I used was Boss of My Brain, because I've been an emotional person. You know, my thing is to be emotional, and once I experience anger, frustration, you know, before in the past I would go to automatic reactions, and for me it was violence. Being the boss of my brain is for me is being aware of my emotions constantly. What's coming up for me? What are the emotions? And before it goes into the old habit, you know, acts as a smart part of the brain to make better decisions.
Yeah.
So for me, that's what I was able to share with them when I went to my hearing.
Well, that's good you guys are sharing. I can't be left out. I'm gonna share my story too, man. For me, mine's was prior to going to the board. You know, when you have your psych evaluation, I went up in the psych evaluation here, man, totally not having any tools. I wasn't doing GOGI, and I was still thinking criminally, because I went up in there lying. They asked me about my gang involvement. They asked me about drug selling, and I denied everything. Wow. Then once I got up out of that hearing with the psych, I ran across a couple guys that have taken several self-help groups. And I asked them, I said, man, how do you guys go in there and get you a date? They said, man, I was honest, man. I said, well, I didn't do that. They said, man, why not? I said, well, I gave them some idiotic answer for why I wasn't being honest. But make a long story short, man, they said, why don't you go to GOGI, see how that is, see if you can learn something from it, and apply those tools in your life.
A great tool for that, and I relate to that because I was the same way. You know, I had given a certain version of the crime for a long time. And one of the tools that worked for me was claim responsibility. Is really looking at that, what does that really mean to claim responsibility? And for me, is simply to hold myself accountable. And as far as being honest, you know what, the time's been done. You know, I already did the time for my crime. So now it's just a matter of whether or not I can be honest about it.
Yeah.
And this time when I went into my hearing, that was different. That I was able to sit there and be honest and speak about the things that I've done in the past. And it's once again, it was that tool, claim responsibility, that for me came to the surface. So it's a great opportunity for you to be involved in GOGI.
What was your reason for not being honest the first time?
Fear. The first times it was fear that if I come clean now, they're going to use that to deny me. They're going to say, oh, after all these years, you're finally coming clean. So that kept me tied to the past. You know, it was that fear of being denied, but, you know, I had to confront it. I had to step outside of that.
I can relate to that. I had the same experience, and the individual told me, he said, man, what you think that may hurt you can actually help you.
Yeah.
And I took that to the heart. And the first tool that I used to help me get over this hurdle that I kept harboring was to let go. I had to allow myself to let go of those pasts, to let go of my anger, to let go of the animosity that I had towards the system, the penal system at that, because I was blaming everybody else, except, as you said, claiming responsibility for my own actions, because nobody told me to pick up the gun. Nobody told me to sell drugs. That was my own decision, and that was one of the most important things that I had to do, to claim that responsibility, to be able to let go, to be able to own up, to be able to be the boss of my brain, and apply each and every one of those tools in my life.
You know, that's to me, that's what being a man is about. You know what I mean? And standing up and being responsible, holding yourself accountable for the decisions that you made in the past, the decisions that you're making now, and the ones that you're going to make towards your future.
That's right.
So that's what's different now.
That's right.
So Sean, what happened when you went to your hearing?
Man, it was a disaster for me, actually. When I went up in there, I honestly confessed everything to the commissioners. And they said, well, man, you had a low, you might have got found suitable. How come you didn't tell this to the psych? I said during that time in my life, I wasn't being a boss of my brain. I wasn't using the smart part. I was using the old habit part. I was thinking I can still be manipulative, I can still be sneaky, and I can still be up under the covers of disguise of that I was still abusing, that I was still a criminal. And he said, well, I'm happy that you was able to come in front of us today and be honest. I'm still gonna find you not suitable. I'm still gonna give you these 7 years denial. But at the meantime, you learn from this experience. Next time you have your psych evaluation, apply those tools that you're telling us today.
How did you feel coming out of the hearing, though?
I was a little bit angry at first, to be honest with you. I didn't know how to process the emotions. That was my first hearing that I had. But then again, I reminded myself, why are you going to these self-help groups if you're not going to use these tools?
A few years ago, I went to the board and they gave me a 7-year denial.
Is that right?
I got a 7-year denial in 2012, and I felt the same way. But my thing is, I didn't get discouraged.
Yeah.
You know, if anything, I started getting more involved in the groups, and after 2 years into that 7-year denial, they called me back.
Is that right?
And I just went to the board, and now I'm getting ready to go again.
Oh, wow.
So don't let those 7 years discourage you.
Yeah,
Stay
yeah,
focused.
yeah.
Continue getting involved.
Yeah.
And you'll go before those 7 years. It's up to you. That's a choice.
That's right. I appreciate it, man. Appreciate the feedback. Thank you.
Right. Thank you.
How you doing, Reggie?
I'm doing good, man.
Man, what do you like about GOGI?
Man, I like GOGI, man, for the fact, man, that I can be responsible, man. I can be the boss of my brain. If I make a mistake, man, I don't have to ponder on mistakes I made, but I can own that mistake and I can keep moving forward. I like GOGI, man, because it allows you to be you.
As you know, man, we've been here for a while. We've been down, man, for over 20 years. A lot of adversity, you know, in my life as well as in your life. What's coming up for me right now is just, I remember some years ago, my mom was in this relationship with this guy. Now they're married, so he's my stepfather, but I remember they were going through a period in their life where they were arguing and some verbal abuse going on, and I just remember feeling like angry, hopeless, and feeling like I should be there to protect her. And then I remember just thinking about let go, you know what I'm saying? Like if I just let go of how they're living their life and just claim responsibility for me, then in time things are gonna work themselves out. And just, it humbled me to know that I don't have all the answers and I don't have the power to change anybody's life.
Right.
They gotta want it for themselves.
I read that book about Boss My Brain, man. I really realized, you know, the irrational ways that I was thinking and living, and, you know, how I made my family and people that love me settle for less, you know, and how my old habits played into me acting and being the way I was. So I started thinking rationally, man. I had to wipe away all the things that I was doing that was wrong and just stay positive, man, with the things that I was doing right. And today, I'm feeling good, man. I'm at peace with myself. It's still a struggle. You know, GOGI can manifest itself in all 36 prisons, man, throughout California. I mean, because GOGI give everybody the tools to allow themselves to become the boss of their brain, to allow themselves to claim responsibility and to really have ultimate freedom.
And they're so flexible, they can be used in any situation by anybody, and it can empower them to make better choices. You know, sometimes I sit back and I think about, what if I become the man that my mother wants me to be? What if I use these tools to contribute to humanity and stop hiding behind that mask and that image? What if I just be me? Matthew Edwards, what if I just be responsible? You know what I mean? And just contribute to humanity as opposed to taking from humanity. That's what I like about GOGI, especially what if, is you can just visualize yourself being any and everything that you want to be, whereas in the past we were afraid and to aspire to reach our goals and dreams. Today, what if you can be anything especially with GOGI.
Man,
You know?
and it's a trip, man, that I look at GOGI as being my platform, man, to let the world know who I am. For years, we've been sitting in prison, man, and we got things in common. We walked the stage together and got our first degree together. You know what I'm saying?
You remember that? You
So,
remember?
hey, we got something in common, man, and think that GOGI and us applying ourselves to GOGI allowed ourselves to get out there into the world, man, to see let the people know that we not who we were back then.
And you remember in the past how angry and how bitter you used to be? You know what I mean?
That was my excuse to not being able to own up to the role I played in the way I lived my life, man. I've been in prison for 25 years for a crime I didn't commit, and I'm not ashamed to say that, but I have to own the accountability of if I would never live in the life that I was living, I wouldn't be in prison. I think that's a lot of the reasons why I was bitter, because I didn't want to own up to playing 99.9% of the role that got me in prison.
And you know what? I've noticed a lot of people in prison, including myself, we don't want to man up and own the choices that we made to get here into prison, and own the fact that our choices destroyed a lot of lives.
Yeah,
that's
it's a trip. We destroyed our own life. We destroyed our own life, not thinking that we were destroying others in the same breath.
And it's because we let other people be the boss of our brain instead of us being the boss of our own brains.
But it ain't happening right now.
It ain't happening right now.
That's what I'm talking about, man. That's what I'm talking about, man. But you about to leave, man. We got this bond in common that I think through GOGI, we always gonna have that bond. We created so much memories together that there's no such thing from us being apart, because we left on a note that we are both being the boss of our brain. But we got to stay in smart part for us to stay linked together. As men, as long as we wipe away, man, the unnecessary bull crap, then we can always see eye to eye, man, and grow to where it's through our willingness and our hard efforts that we're not allowing ourselves to succumb to whatever bull crap they got going on up in here. We making the choices that we wasn't secure enough to make in the yesterdays. So I want to say to you, man, is that wherever you go, continue to be that leader, man. You always been the boss of your brain, but right now you got a platform. You got GOGI, and you got your way to where you know how to lead, man, and it's respected. You taught me, and I'm gonna run with it, and I appreciate that. I just wanted to say that to you, though.
Yeah, I appreciate our journey together too, man. Both come a long way, and it's all about being of service.
That's it. That's it.
Taking one day at a time towards ultimate freedom.
And that's it, being of service. This is what a lot of people don't understand. Being of service in prison is an everyday struggle. And I say that because it's easy for me to come up in the gym, man, and to facilitate a group. But it's a challenge maintaining the emotions that be within me, grabbing me. And I say that I have to be in tune with my emotions, myself daily, in order to be of service to somebody else. I'm not just a facilitator in the gym. I'm a facilitator wherever I go. It's a part of me. So as long as we stay the boss of our brain, as long as we stay belly breathing and keeping that 5-second light switch, on, then we good.
Most definitely. Man, I really enjoyed our conversation, man. Keep doing what you're doing.
For sure.
GOGI for life, baby.
GOGI for life. For sure.
I had experienced a lot of abuse.
I was hooked on drugs.
I believe that I was destined to fail.
I was at rock bottom.
It was a make or break me moment.
But I knew that I needed to change my life.
Getting out by going in.
Using the GOGI tools, I get to claim responsibility.
It allows you to move forward into bigger and better things.
With GOGI, I move forward.
With GOGI, I have 12 tools that help me make better decisions.
Since getting involved in GOGI and being a facilitator, I've made friends and connections with people I never would have imagined.
If you want to truly experience freedom, be of service to your community.
That means teaching people how to make positive decisions in their lives, as I've learned.
The biggest thing that I try to do is to share the GOGI tools.
It's fantastic. GOGI for life.
I'm the face of GOGI.
GOGI on 3. 1, 2, 3.
GOGI!